So you have one of those really ridiculously cool 3D printers. You're a tabletop gamer and you're looking for the top 5 things to 3D print for your gaming sessions? Well then that is what we're diving into in today's episode. Hello, welcome, I'm Jester from Jester's 3D Tabletop Gaming, and today we're going to be looking at several items, all of which have been printed with the ERYONE Silk Gold PLA, all at 0.2 layer height, and everything that I've been showcasing today, I'm going to be putting a link in the description for the files. Item number 1 would be a painting grip, something that you can grasp and grip and hold on to while you're painting your miniatures. You don't really want to be holding your mini and painting as you're rotating and spinning. You don't want to be rubbing off the paint. So something like this I find to just be very handy. It's got a stretch. No! It has a stretch function, little elastic that fits through the inside. And you can even, I think, put a magnet on the bottom if you wanted to. There's tons of different designs of these. This is just the one that I liked in particular. Item number 2. That would be a paint stand and a brush stand. This one in particular is for your Vallejo and Army Painter style paints. There's also one that is for the Citadel paints. But it just has this nice, fantastic little brush stand on the back. You want to make sure you properly wash and dry your brushes before you're keeping them in these things. But this thing fits like, what is it, 20 paints, which is a fantastic amount. As you can see here, I have a wonderful selection of color variety. I actually just upgraded all of my colors and it made me a very happy man. But I think this definitely fits into the number 2 slot of an essential item to have, rather than having your paints all willy-nilly scattered across your desk or in a top drawer like I've had in the past. Number 3 on the list today would be your dice container. That's right, you want to be able to show up in style with your dice riding in the ultimate Cadillac of traveling capabilities. This is a Ars Moriendi Mythic Mug dice container. Bada bing, bada boom, look at that! It's magnificent. I think that showing up to a gaming session with one of these is just a little bit more comfortable, with style, right? You've got that pizzazz. Number 4 today. What better than a dice tower? Oh man, I love that sound. It just sounds so enjoyable. There's just something satisfying about rolling dice in a dice tower. There are tons of designs out there, so go find one you like and just download it and print it because they're worth it. Finally, number 5, the most important on this list. If you've got yourself a 3D printer, this is probably one of the most essential things you are going to be printing on your printer, and that is terrain. These are dungeon tiles. There are tons of different dungeon tile designers out there. Find the style, find the design that you like, and go with that. Buildings, terrain, bushes, pretty much everything you can think of scenery-wise that's really going to add that depth and dimension to your tabletop gaming needs. It spans across Dungeons & Dragons, Warhammer, pretty much any tabletop game that you can think of is going to look better when you've got yourself some nice terrain and some nice print and color on it, and it's just really going to spruce things up. To fit right in line with scenery is obviously miniatures as well, your models and all of that jazz. So I'm going to be rocking all my prints for terrain on my FDM printer, and my resin printer is going to be rocking all of my miniatures just because I think they both are well suited to those categories. You can definitely interchange them and print whatever you want on either machine, but those are my personal preferences. Anyhow, this has been my list of my top 5 essential items for 3D printing and tabletop gaming. I've got one more, I'm going to throw it in there. Definitely not essential, but still pretty darn cool, is to be able to print your own display case. Just something that you can bring, you can pop a miniature in it. This is the lid from a dice container, which works out well if you're already printing yourself a dice container to travel to your friend's place in the first place. Let's just throw all these models into a nice little slideshow. So there you have it. I'm Jester. This is my top 5 things to 3D print for tabletop gaming. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know if you agree in the comments below, if you would take any of these items out and what you would replace it with, because I'm definitely curious what you think your top 5 items for this category would be. Anyhow, I'm Jester. I had a good time. I hope you had a good time. Until the next time. Bye-bye now.